There's a reason that even this topic is choosing to split this fabric of reality around us and enter this conversation, because there's a lot of young people listening to this conversation who probably understand Agor only from the perspective of media, and that's fine. At least that knowledge has reached them. I would point them towards an author called Robert Svoboda, who we have hosted on the show. He's written a trilogy, Agora 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Very detailed, difficult to read book. Try reading it. We've also recorded podcasts with him. So if you're not a reader, go listen to those podcasts. But my question to you is, why has this entered this Gen Z spirituality?
Because, people are attracted to things that gives them kicks. They don't want the long step-by-step method of going into yam niyam, then doing mantra chanting, then getting a guru, no, they want shortcut, but they don't realize this shortcut is hell. If you just read or just, get, and an actual Agur will know. There are many Agurs that I've met who dress normally. We don't even come to know the Agur. I had an interaction in Kashi. Later I got to know when I saw him, and I'm like, okay. Then I realized that we know nothing about them. Because what is projected on TV is holding a kapal, running like this. They are very well educated. And that man was so well spoken, traveled the world, taken the path, and come into this because their karma and their situation have dragged them into this. If I tell you just leave tomorrow, if I tell a so-called Gen Z, okay, pack everything, leave, step out in the mountains, start walking, they won't. You need to jump into it to realize it.
Where do you live the majority of your life?
It has been distributed in many, many parts. But I would say in the mountains, yes.
Mountains.
Yes.
I think it's very important for Indians. Every Indian should visit the mountains.
Everyone should. Definitely. At least once. You realize how life is.
Say more.
Because, especially for people living in metro cities, we are very comforted in our own space. Given you step in the mountains, you'll realize how life is, how nature is harsh, how you realize that you have to survive. Not proper mountains, not even Rishikesh. Rishikesh is luxury. When you go step out ahead, you'll come to know that. And you'll also realize one important thing, that we are very blessed. We are humans. We can act, we can perform, we can think, and we can evolve.
Because of the mountains, you realize that.
The nature will teach you.
Yeah.
Because here everything is McDonald's call pay. This call pay. That you have to do your own thing.
I remember my first trip to the mountains was with a very close friend group from school and my best friend Nandini. We were just sitting and looking at the mountains. Okay, this was a Kasol Tosh trip.
Yeah.
This was at age 23.
Yeah.
We saw these massive mountains in front of us. Okay, and there was a moment at night where the moonlight was falling on them and you could see like the cracks in the mountains and possible caves. And we all just paused collectively as a friend group. And she said that just look at how many secrets are present right in front of us. And that's such an important sentence, because as you travel through the mountains, you realize that mountains are not the places where you choose to just be in one location. You have to sit in your car and go around and discover the secrets.
True.
How many secrets are there in India, according to you? I think you're the right person to be asked this question.
Personal experiences are many. And every time when we experience, we think we know nothing. Just sharing, not a personal experience. We were in Gomukh, and in the night, it was one of the best nights. Not spiritually, but talking with our all Adivida members, and we looked up and we saw shooting stars. We saw the Saptarishi Mandala, and we were like, "What is this? This is another world."
What is Saptarishi Mandala?
The Saptarishis, we say they have come from the stars. So they form a specific rectangular mandala, which you can see it. And it's very, very visible. And every mountain is different. The mountains in Nepal are different. Kailash is different. Rishikesh is different. Himachal is different. And you feel the energy is different. You feel it. Like those who know it.
Different gifts as well.
Different gifts as well, yes. And they're scary also. They make you realize how small you are and insignificant. I would recommend that, we are very secure with money, with security, with cell phones. Go for a trip. If you're you don't know what a yatra is, just pack your bags. Go to Gomukh, explore. You will realize that you're so gifted. You have so many things. You'll also realize that nature is constantly supporting you if you just flow.
Yeah. A CA had once asked me, why do people even go to the mountains? He was fairly older than I am.
Yeah.
And my answer at that point was because it's the best form of nature. And then he's like, no, but I've never done a vacation where I've really seeked out nature. I always I go to cities.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to say because how do you explain the joy of being out in nature?
You can't explain. It's, we were in Kedar, and there was one point where we could see Kedar, we could see the Ice Peak mountain, we could see the multiple stars, and we were like, we have wasted so many years, we are not experiencing this.
Practically speaking,
Yeah.
away from the depth, it's very affordable as a trip.
Yeah, it is.
Like you'll be able
It
to
is.
explore the mountains with
Yes.
very less money.
Yeah, and I would say that don't use those fancy choppers and all.
Mm.
Go travel local. You will realize how local people are humble. You will realize everything. And I think such experience is more important than studying books or running behind exams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how World Cups happen every 4 years?
Yeah.
I think 4 years is a sweet spot in terms of self-evolution as well. I'm going to ask you a very peculiar travel-oriented question, which is useful for young people. If I give you a timeline of 4 years where they can do a trip to the Himalayas every single year, can you draw out a roadmap that will help them evolve as human beings?
See, honestly speaking, every mountain has good side and bad side. Yeah, because humans are everywhere. Every mountain where you go has a spiritually uplifting side. At the same time, it has everything which you don't want to get involved with. If you're starting your trip, I would say start with Rishikesh. It's a good space to be in. Don't go to Kasoli, don't go to Dharamshala. You will land up doing other things and the mind will get diverted easily. Go to Rishikesh. If you actually want, depends. Now, if you're inclined towards Shiv, I would definitely say do Kedarnath, do Adi Kailash. If you want to do something which is challenging, go to Hemkund Sahib. Just go outside your comfort zone. If you want to do something very, very challenging, go to Rudranath. But take the journey. Start with something very small. And I think Kedarnath is good to start with.
What is challenging about those yatras?
Oh, you have to do it in a day. We were in Hemkund Sahib, one of the most beautiful experiences because oxygen goes less. And you have to go in the morning, and by 3 o'clock, they will push you down because you can't stay there.
Okay.
It gets very difficult.
Bitter weather.
Better weather, oxygen problem, no other issues. So you go, take darshan and come back. And that is something which is mentally difficult also. And of course, only when the deity calls, you can go.
That is the sadhana.
That is the sadhana, definitely. I always say that any yatra that we did, Kedarnath recently, I was planning for a year, it was not possible. In 10 days, we planned everything. And we realized that all the doors were opening because the deity was calling us. And it is a mental test because at any point of time, you will be stuck. There'll be a problem. There you'll have no water. And it is a beautiful journey. But when you go to the Kshetra and you be there, you will be charged like a battery again.
Oof.
You will be charged again. That is the reason all these Jyotirlings and everything are so powerful.
The statement you said, no, you'll be charged like a battery.
Charged again.
Something one only understands when one experiences.
Yeah, like when we go to Kashi, we visit Bhairav Baba, we go to Jyotirling, Kashi Vishwanath, we are charged. We are charged. And you know it. You know it. And that energy comes back again, sustains again you go. But in higher states, if you're talking from a Vedantic point of view, you don't need to go anywhere because everything is within you. But we are not there. Those who are there, they don't travel, but you will realize how the battery charges. And there are very strange stories. I've seen people living in Rishikesh. They have not been to not been to Kedarnath yet because there's no calling. And I've seen people coming from Bangalore, from Hyderabad, 4-5 days. Amazing how the deity calls.
Can I take you back to that 4-year timeline?
Yep.
So
Rishikesh, you have to do. Depending upon the spiritual calling, especially you're talking about mountains, I would say do Rishikesh, do Badrinath, do the Pancha Kedar also. Very interesting. This is where Shiva had taken the form of a buffalo and there are 5 Pancha Kedar. I would say do Adi Kailash. And if you actually into it, Kailash is the highest.
Okay. I'm also going to have a go at it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll explain why.
Yeah.
For each
Because
one.
I want to know your point of view. Yeah.
I think that if you wish for your own personal spiritual evolution as well as life evolution, the mountains are a must in your 20s, especially if you're Indian. Uh, First and foremost, Rishikesh is my pick as well because it's got the right kind of amenities to make the mountain seem friendly.
Point.
And it's a base for you to experience the
Point.
blue Ganga,
Yeah.
Kunjapuri Mata Mandir,
Yeah.
etc.
Perfect.
The Gufa,
Vashish Gufa.
Vashisht Gufa.
Yes.
Very nice first mountain trip. So this is the second one, that Tosh, Kheer Ganga, Kasol region. Go see nature. Go see the beauty that God has created. Because the landscapes and the flora there, it's like nowhere else in India. And I've traveled through Kashmir as well.
Yeah.
The third one I would point people towards is the general Kangra area. Because of there's too many secrets. There's too many things to do.
I was blessed to have some great encounters with great saints in Kangra. So it is another territory and the mountains are huge.
There's such energetic differences in different parts of Kangra. Dharamshala is accessible. If you want the party cafe vibe, go up to Dharmkot. But for me, one of the benefits of being in Kangra is closely observing Tibetan Buddhism. Like, we're blessed in India to have that presence of Tibetan Buddhists.
It's very strong there. It should be there.
Yeah. And the fourth place I'd point people towards, I want to say Kedarnath, but we saw all the videos of it being overcrowded. Which is why perhaps I would point them towards Nepal.
Nepal is something, it's like, if you go to Nepal, go there for a month.
Because
you do sadhana there. You observe the place. You understand it has everything. It has Shakti Peeths, it has Bhairav, it has just being there. So it's another, Kashmir, Nepal, the other dimensions if you touch into and start living it.
And if for whatever reason you are not inclined to visiting the mountains but you still want spiritual evolution, just go to Banaras.
Yeah. Banaras is like home. Many people don't like Banaras because it's too much for them. Oh, it's dirty, it is like this, it is overly crowded. But I think if you start walking on the path, you will be dragged to Banaras at one point of time in your life.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
I adored my trip to Vrindavan as well.
Yeah.
But I faced this psychological challenge in Vrindavan that because of the layers of humanization, I was not able to exactly absorb the nucleus of it, but it was important. I went to the Radharaman temple.
Beautiful. My first encounter of Vrindavan with my guru, and I can't remember, it's Tatya Guru Tatya Swami. There was a guru who lived there, never left that space. And he has taken samadhi there. There are no lights in the ashram. There are only diyas. And I was like, everything is same. Like, wow.
Yeah. Again, I don't know why this happened to me in Vrindavan. On my first day, I went to a riverside aarti.
Yeah.
And this was the 1 week in the year where a lot of bugs are going through breeding season.
Yeah.
There were so many bugs, like at the aarti. They were doing the aarti. There was like this blue neon light. Because it was already very ethereal. But there were so many bugs that they were entering our ears, our nose, our mouth. The people who lived in Vrindavan, they were still okay with being there. It was almost like that aarti pushed us out of itself.
Comfort zone. Yeah. And yet people do it there.
There are this is what people need to understand about India travel.
Yes.
Even with foreigners, I tell them to visit India, but when they ask me where, first I do a personality test on them.
You have to, otherwise...
But one shouldn't just seek out 5-star hotels and
you should not.
Instagram-friendly locations.
And more than that, to experience a place, what we do is we live locally. We be local. And if you're doing a yatra specifically, don't just go to the temple and come. Stay there for minimum 3 to 4 days to understand the place.
And ask the deity for experiences.
Yes. And always have that surrender that the deity will take care. That underlying knowledge should be there. Otherwise, you won't. In fact, very strange that we were in one night dragged to Tarapeeth. First experience.
In Kolkata?
Yeah. Very strange. So, you'll realize in sadhana, the deity will also drag you and get it done. If that understanding is there, then it will become a successful because you are in surrender. And things will open up, help will come. In one day, morning 6 o'clock, we went to Tarapeeth, did our sadhana and came back again the same night. And the road was horrible, but we knew that it is being done. That attitude should be there for such places.
This is such a potent piece of information that we have dispelled in this podcast.
Yeah, and more than that, it's good we are opening up for people, especially for generation who is new and they want to jump into it. Yeah. And one should not act cool, go into Smashan, do Agori and all. No, you start surrendering. It will come. Actually, the journey will take.
Yeah. Let's close this travel chapter.
Yep.
This is enough.
Yep.
Because if we can keep going on.
Yeah, true.
But it's a very good call to action.
Yeah.
We've given good options here, and whoever wants to now benefit from this will take this information and move forward. Hey, if you enjoyed today's clip, make sure you check out all the other clips we've uploaded on this channel. You'll find a clip related to almost every single topic as long as you're willing to search for it.